say it, you know. I just want to make a 3-minute long video. But what does it mean to believe something? You know, I think what it is this. Belief is a mystery. I think that one thing that's true is I think we want to believe that we know why we believe what we believe. That somehow we have a command of the belief. That, you know, it's not just, you know, people will say, oh, you have to believe things based on evidence, and you have to believe things based on evidence. And you know, and the good person really is in command of that fact that in a funny way you actually can choose what you believe. Which brings up a question that I think a long time ago someone sort of raised this question, and maybe I've seen it several times in philosophy, where somebody asked this, well, maybe it was even outside of philosophy, but just about things. And that is, do you really have control over what you believe? I mean, you know, you may say, well, I believe things only based on evidence. So in some way you kind of have control over it because you look at evidence and you examine the evidence and you go over the evidence and you think about the evidence and you reason it out. And then you make a choice as to which one you're going to believe, and you're going to believe according to the evidence. And somehow that kind of gives you this feeling of control, that you control what you believe. And other people believe things and they don't have control. They just believe it because they were told it. Yeah, and that kind of is the way it feels like that. But in fact, do you really have that kind of command over what it is you believe? And the thing is that the other thing that I always kept popping up in my head is that there's a difference between what people claim they believe and what people actually believe. I mean, there are people who doubt things, but they say they believe it because it's what's expected of them. People expect you to be a believer in something if you know. Let me put it, let's even not even go with the worn out issues of religion, but let's say, for example, if you're a cop, you believe that all crimes should be punished. If somebody commits a crime, they should be punished. Well, we expect a cop to believe that. Just like we expect a firefighter to believe that if a building is on fire, we should put it out. You know, it's like one thing just, you know, it's just like it goes together like pieces of a puzzle. If it doesn't, something's wrong, you know. Like the gears in a car, they got to fit. Otherwise, the thing don't work. There's certain things that just have to be, you know. So if you go to church every Sunday, you got to believe in God. If you go to church every Sunday and you pray and you claim you believe in God and you say you believe in God and you read the scriptures you got to believe, right? But, you know, deep in somebody's own whatever, you don't, you know, in their own soul or consciousness or mind or whatever you want to say, do they really believe? You don't know. People can put on an outward performance. You know, there is such a thing in the world called acting. You know, acting exists and pretending exists. We know that. There is such a thing as acting and there is such a thing as pretending. And we know that people can act and we know that people can pretend. And people can claim and people can say. We know that. We know that that's real. And people can pretend to believe something. They can act like they believe something. They can act like they accept something as being true. We know that. There is no question or doubt in our minds that yes, there is such a thing as acting, and there is such a thing as pretending, and there is such a thing as saying, yeah, of course I believe. And we can also have people who say, oh, I don't believe that, or I doubt that, I don't think that's true. But really you do. There's a part of you that kind of thinks, yeah, it is. I think in a funny way, what we really, really deep down inside believe is it's not really a mystery. It's there, but somehow there is a kind of believing it issue. There is a kind of believing it thing. You do kind of believe things, don't you? You do kind of, you know, if somebody told you I was abducted by aliens from another planet, you reject it on the surface, but there's a part of you that says, it could be true. Maybe it is true. It is true. But you don't know for sure if you really do believe it. See, if you're not sure if you really believe something or don't believe it, that itself drives you crazy and make you want to pull your hair out. Because you want to know that. I clearly believe this and I clearly don't believe that. I clearly accept this and I clearly don't accept that. And it's clear in my mind, absolutely, without any doubts. And that's the way it is. What can you say? Let me stop at this point.